I see it. Awesome. All right. Well, make sure you guys are all muted and we're going to just jump right into this. So welcome to our Sunday night training call. I am super excited as this is our third training that we're really going to start getting into like the nitty gritty of this stuff and really helping you guys in understanding how to take full ownership of this business. So this week's call is dedicated to retention because after we get people on board, the last thing we want to see is them not to be reordering. It kills me every single month when I look in my back office and I see zeros. Now, I want you guys to understand that it's natural in this business to have zeros in your back office. So I don't want you guys, I remember in the beginning of my business, I took it so personal when people didn't reorder because I must have failed them in some way of not showing them the vision for these products or these business. So, retention for the industry wide is about 20%. So industry wide, so just so you start to understand that like numbers so that you can have fair expectations of what your retention should be. So industry-wide, it's 20% of your people that enroll with you will stay with you. What's incredible with Isagenix is that we have an 87% reorder rate and a 95% retention rate when they get their products paid for. So what does that mean? Like, what do those two statistics mean? Well, 85% reorder rate means that 85% of people that have ordered something through Isagenix will order again. It does not mean that they will order the next following month, which is a huge reason why it's so important that you follow up with past customers whenever you have shake releases, whenever you're doing a new, fall back into health challenge, because a past customer is the easiest resell in the world, but sometimes we create stories in our head if they're not reordering all the time. And you have to think to yourself, how many times have I purchased something in my life that I loved, but I just didn't want to use it. And then like 6 months later, I went back to it. And then retention rate means that if they're getting their products paid for, that jumps all the way up to 95% and that they'll be ordering it month after month after month after month. So obviously helping people get their products paid for is amazing. That's why Kenzie's training last week was so awesome. But we're really going to share with you guys how we increase retention in our businesses. And one of the things that I'll never forget Eric Worre saying is that it's our job in this business to get people over the line. Meaning when a new member enrolls with us in network marketing, in Isagenix, they are on the line that it's easier to quit, it's easier to stop ordering when they simply order their products. And it's our job through one of the following things, either helping them earn $1, helping them make a friend, helping them see results, getting them to an event. Through all of these different experiences, each way it pushes them further and further over the line, making it easier to stay. Guys, my whole family is involved in Isagenix. I am blood, sweat, and tears into this company. I'm so committed because I've been to events. I have best friends in this company. I've seen physical results. My community is surrounded by me as in Isagenix. I'm so far over the line at this point. It's easier to stay than to go back. So how do we get our new customers? How do we make it easier for them to stay than it is easier for them to leave? So I'm going to open it up. I know that Sage and Lindsay talked about in-person events that they used to host, but maybe if one of you wants to talk about that. Lindsay, I know you want to talk about the IsaBody, and we can kind of just ping pong around.
Yeah, I can kick us off for sure. So hi guys, happy Sunday. Hope you're all doing well. And Chelsea, thank you for those statistics. It's super helpful to just kind of know like industry-wide and then where everything is with Isagenix. And so retention is something that it's always been really important to me and so interesting for me to understand how can I increase this number, because it's so much easier to help keep someone inspired, engaged, and excited than it is to go out, meet 10 new people, explain Isagenix, cast a vision for them, try to recreate this entire experience that you've already given someone. And it's so much more challenging to do that than it is to just help someone stay inspired, stay engaged, and feel amazing. So it's so important, as we all know, and it's really what creates that residual income for you, right? When you have people who have found, like Chelsea was saying, friends, they've found a transformation personally, they've found an emotional connection with the program and the community and the opportunity, that's really what creates that residual income for you when they're committed, they're ordering every single month. So it really is just at the crux of everything that we're doing and everything we're creating. And So one of the biggest things that I've really found is that when I spend more time with people in the beginning and really take the time up front to help them feel connected, it is just night and day. And this is something I've really been focusing on just actually the last couple of months, I would say. And so what that looks like for me personally is just going the extra mile in every way, shape, and form that I can in the beginning, right? So their first week, I'll try to connect with them at least 5 times. And it's not a call every time. Maybe it's a text. Maybe it's a couple of recipes. Maybe it's one call to check in. Happy day one. Like really helping them see that you're there to support them and that you care about them. And I always tell people, like, after they order their products, this is when the journey begins. Like now we get to start, because one of the things about Isagenix and this community is that so many of us are really so passionate about helping people and actually want to see them transform and want to see their world change. And I think a lot of people think that once they order Isagenix from me, I'm going to be like, great, cool, congratulations, and then not really be engaged with them. So I like to really surprise people with the level of my commitment. I'll write out their goals. I really want to help them understand that I'm so committed to them, and especially in the beginning, helping them see how this is different and helping them see how it's going to be a long-term journey, I think is so important. And just taking that time up front to get to know them, mapping out their goals together, whether it's physical or financial, just showing them that you care, introducing them to people, plugging them into the Facebook pages. All these little touch points that we have are so important to help them see the bigger vision while you have that really special moment when they're brand new. They have so much to learn. So just having a little list of how do I help people get engaged quickly in the beginning, get excited, and connect with the community, the brand, the product, the opportunity, all those things. So that's the first thing, is just really spending more time with people up front. And then the other thing that that does is really showing them that it's more than a product. So one of my biggest feelings is that there are a lot of products out there, and we all know that Isagenix products are phenomenal and resonated with all of us for so many different reasons. But I think it's easy for people to think about it as just another product in their head when they're just getting started. So one of the ways to really focus on retention is to help them differentiate, how is this more than just a product? And for me, that always meant community. I wanted to create a space in Los Angeles where people could come together, feel supported, move their bodies, feel nourished, learn about a really cool opportunity. And so one of the ways Lindsay and I did that together, which was so fun, was by hosting a Sunday evening beach yoga class, and just a space for people to come together, doing samples afterwards, having a little circle for people to share about what their goals are, what they're working on, and all that good stuff. So that can be something different for everyone. And it doesn't have to be a weekly event at all, but I think creating, helping people understand how this is more than just a product is a really, really important piece. So that could look like events for you. It could look like plugging them into the Facebook page or your weekly team calls. It's different for everyone, but I think that's a really huge piece. And that's something that we offer through Isagenix that a lot of other companies don't offer. They just have products, right? And we have so much more than that. So helping people see that. And then another thing that I think is so key for retention is really, again, taking the time and helping people with their first upcoming auto ship order. So I like to do a call with them a couple of days before that first auto ship order. We've already been in really close communication all month long, but I really like to take this call and prep them for the upcoming month, right? So how close did we come to hitting your goals in this first month? And then what is our game plan for next month? What does that look like? What are your goals? Maybe they have some financial goals for the upcoming month. Maybe it's mostly physical goals. Whatever that looks like, really, again, mapping out their goals with them, holding their hand, helping them see how much you care, and then creating a game plan for them, explaining why do they need to order 100 BV, right? It makes sense to us, but that might be totally new to them. So I think teeing people up for that first auto ship is so important. It really goes hand in hand with just that extra hand holding and support and love in the first month to help people integrate this into their life and really see the value and really resonate with it on a personal level that will stick with them long term. And then the last thing I just wanted to touch on, a lot of you are probably familiar with this, but especially as a trainer, the IsaBody Challenge is one of my favorite things that the company offers. So really helping people understand, I always say this even before people order their products, just so you know, we have a 16-week full transformation challenge called the IsaBody Challenge. It's totally free to do the challenge. You can do it as many times as you want, and every single person who completes the challenge gets a $200 product gift card to use towards any products that they want. So I always help people in the beginning and just really try to help them look at this as at least a 16-week commitment, because we know after that time, they're going to be on fire. They're going to feel incredible. They'll get it by then. But the IsaBody Challenge and helping people sign up is so key, because it helps them see this as a long-term vision in the very beginning when they don't even know how they should be envisioning it yet. So before they see the value, help them commit to the IsaBody Challenge, at least commit to those 16 weeks together, and that's going to create that long-term retention for you guys. You'll have those 4 months that they're really locked in and engaged, but then after that 4 months, there's no way that, I mean, for certain people, some people will fall off, some will stay, but if you've really helped them stay engaged for 16 weeks for 4 months, and chances are so much higher of them having long-term retention. And I'll let Lynn say a little more on that as well if she'd like to. But yeah, those are the main things I wanted to touch on.
That was amazing, Sage. Thank you so much. I feel like you're so great at creating like a community within your girls that come in. And I think at the end of the day, it's really just us providing a safe space for people where when life gets crazy and hectic, Isagenix is something you want to come to, not run away from, not the first thing you drop. It doesn't feel like too much. It feels like, oh, okay, I'm busy. What I really need is holistic, healthy nutrition dropped on my doorstep. That's what I need. And really just showing people what that looks like and the versatility of the products. You know, coming from an athlete perspective as well, I love coaching people through, and also because my goals have transitioned while using Isagenix, just knowing what that looks like and helping people say, you know, it's not, and I think so many people come in with this kind of short-term mindset, and unfortunately that's just the way our brains are kind of programmed with how we eat and the diet mentality, and just really walking people through how it's not short-term. Like, this is a healthy lifestyle, balanced living, nutrition. You get what you need, and when your goals change, that's amazing. So can how you use Isagenix. You know, when I first came in, my goal was to lean up and lose a little bit of weight, inflammation. I did that. And then when my goals changed to performance, competitive marathon training and being an elite athlete changed to that. Like, now it's like my goals are to start a family and just be balanced and healthy, and like I'm not worried about my weight. Like, whatever your goals are, knowing Isagenix is there for you. And I think, you know, IsaBody Challenge, I totally agree with Sage. I think that's one of the most incredible things in just utilizing the tools that we have with Isagenix, because at the end of the day, they know the numbers, like Chel said, behind retention, and how to get customers to stay because you're providing something that is of value for them. So if you say, like, you know, not only just for completing this, you're going to get, I tried so many new things with that $200 product coupon every 16 weeks. I start and stop them. I'm starting one this week. I start one the next. Like, it never ever stops, because that's how I started new things. Because I was like, okay, I'm going to use this coupon to try out other aspects of what Isagenix has to offer that maybe I wouldn't have ordered otherwise. And just letting people know that. And I think something also that is like super underrated within Isagenix, but I did it once, a podcast on it, and just learning more as leaders in our businesses ourselves, just learning the most that you can and how to serve people and what their goals are. The Healthy Mind and Body program, I'm not sure if anybody on here, drop it in the chat if you've ever done it, but I thought it was like really, really wonderful. So it's like essentially like an online coaching program, and it really focuses on mindset. So when you go in there, it's not so much like I want to lose 10 pounds. It's like, what is behind that? What is the daily action accountability? And it breaks it into, you know, like mindset, but why? And then what's your energy, nutrition, fitness, your performance, the goals of each day. And it's like a daily accountability tracker. And it's something that Isagenix offers. I think it's a tool that people don't necessarily know about. But I really, really love that, especially for people when they struggle with making this a long-term, you know, health decision for them, and just making sure that, you know, in any aspect, when you feel committed to this and you see this as, you know, a lifestyle. Because when I first started Isagenix, I wasn't really sure what to expect. So I understand when people come in, and to them there's no emotional attachment to the products until you have that experience and you feel so different. And then the community on top of that. The other thing I wanted to say, I think for me, if I think back to my journey with Isagenix, I honestly think the community and the events is really truly what made me stay. When I went to the first event and I felt so welcomed and loved and just like wrapped in this community of people that loved and supported me and just cheered me on, that made everything. So encouraging your people, whether that's inviting them and helping them get to, a core Isagenix event, or that's hosting events, which we obviously trained on last week. Like, there's a reason why we do these in the order that we're doing, because we're trying to help serve you guys. But, if you have events in person, like I have people, when I see them and they come back into the picture, they're like, I kind of dropped off. I don't really know why. I love it. I'm like, great, cool. And I honestly, for me now, I've gotten to the point where I say, if I know someone has stopped, ordering, like Chelsea said, at the end of the day, like, this is a product to some people and they just stop ordering. They don't know why. So I ask people, I'm like, I'm always open to feedback. What was your experience? How are you feeling? Aside from checking, obviously always check in with your people. But if you see someone and that it's been a while, just say, like, what was your experience? I'm so curious. Like, how can I help serve you? What could I do? And more often than not, the response I get every single time usually ends up in them reordering, or if their account's expired, creating an account, because they're like, what? I loved it. I don't know what happened. It just kind of went to the wayside. And just really getting behind what people are looking for. So I think the biggest things for me, we're going to kind of all cover these separately, but I think the IsaBody, the community, healthy mind and body, if someone's really, really struggling with their mindset, which I think a lot of people are who come to us for these decisions, events, and then of course getting people paid. The numbers behind when you help somebody make their first one cycle in our business is $54. The numbers behind the retention rate when you get someone paid, it's crazy. It's astronomical. Like, you feel so much more invested, because when else could you go to a grocery store, love your products, bring your best friend, and get paid for that? You just don't. It doesn't happen. So if you're already loving your products, feeling great, and we can help people create that attachment, create the people in their life and share with them, like, that's really where the magic happens. And just knowing that. So, when I present the whole U+2 to somebody, and I know that they don't have an interest, and they've already said I'm not interested in the business, I'm like, great. Sharing with two people you love is not having a business. That's not a business. That's something you would do anyways. You're just making it weird if you don't, because otherwise, if it was anything else in the world, you would share with them. So I tell them that, and I help them. I'm saying, I would love to get your products paid for next month. If you don't ever want to share with anyone again, great. But the fact that you're making this weird, and it's not, and just helping them get that. And then once they get that, my customers, even if they go in and out of consultant, we know that once they get paid, they are going to be customers for a long time, and showing them the benefits, whether that's writing it out for them, having a pinned video in your product page, whatever that looks like, but letting them know the value of staying active each month. I just had a conversation with my cousin at a football game about this, like, staying active every single month, the value that can bring if and when they decide to unlock it. Just giving them that information that they can do what they want with it. But generally, more often than not, they're going to use that, and they're going to be able to cash that out, and then they're going to want to continue to be a customer. And then also checking in, goals change. I say that to my customers all the time. I check in and not too much, and kind of get a feel for the communication style that each individual person likes, but just say, like, hey, I know goals change. Like, what are your health goals you're working towards right now? What can I help you with? And sometimes you're like, actually, I really want to run a half marathon, and I've been wanting to talk to you about it, but I'm like intimidated. And I'm like, oh my God, how can I help you? This is amazing. And just hearing what people are working towards, because that changes. The seasons of life change all the time. And just knowing how you can support people through that. And really just creating a space where, like I said, at the end of the day, when things get crazy, you want them to come to Isagenix, come to your community, feel welcome, feel included, feel like, this is something that it's not, we know what we have with our products, but we also know what we offer here within our community is so, so unique. So that was my little tidbit. I can pass it on to whoever wants to take over next.
I'll go. So thank you so much, Lindsay, for sharing. And one thing that I know that we could all improve on and that grows our businesses the most is retention, because again, like everyone said, that is what creates the residual income. Now, how I really focus on retention is just like every other way that these leaders are touching on, but I really put an emphasis on community. And if you can't, and if people are spread out all over the world, which can happen in your network marketing business, another way to do it is to do it online. So you can do it in person and online, but I find that, people come for the people. right? People order the product, stay for the people. And when you build that relationship with your customers, your business builders, they're going to want to stay because it's a positive growth environment. And so often we don't have those environments day to day in our lives. And Isagenix is a great way to bring that kind of positivity in and introduce that into a lifestyle that somebody is wanting to make changes. So, for example, in our team, we always do Sunday fun days or social Sundays. So consistently every single week throwing some sort of something to get people to come on a hike or to get together and go to happy hour or, go down to Sydney in Australia. But people all over in our team are doing Sunday fun days because it's easy. People can do brunch, people can go to football games, but you're doing it together with people. And it's a way for, maybe not everyone can make it every single week, but you're building a little tribe, and people are going to want to stay for that. When other people are bringing their products on their little hike, it encourages them. Oh, they saw an e-shot. Well, I'm going to order e-shots next time, so I have e-shots when I go hiking. So it also encourages, product ordering because everybody wants to do what everyone's doing. Mm-hmm. And, I highly believe that everyone on this call has an invested interest in building this business. And as leaders and developing a network marketing business, you have to step up into leadership and create things. Who came before us can only create so much for so long for us. And there comes a point where we have to step into that leadership on this call to lead our own teams and organizations so we can then pass that down on and duplicate that down, and that's as a return our businesses are going to grow. So consistency I think is huge factor to retention, and that's because if you're building something, if you're showing consistently that you're using the products, your people will use the products. If you are consistently holding an event every Sunday, even though you don't want to, that builds community. People are going to come. That's going to show your people that you're consistent, and as a result, you're going to teach them consistency in your business. So when it comes to product users, let's say you have someone in Missouri and most of your team is in New York, right? They can't go to your little event, your Sunday fun days in New York, but what you can do is plug them into the start page online. So if people are, by themselves in different areas, plug them into the start page. I like to invite my people, and some do it, some don't, to post something in there and ask who's in, the Missouri area. And you'd be surprised how many other individuals are looking for people to hang out with in Isagenix, right? So, plugging people into the start page for product and business will help with retention because you're giving them community, you're giving them support. They're seeing transformations, they're seeing results, so it's encouraging them to get results, right? And then also doing these events in your towns every single week. That is the key. Consistency is key because, over time it grows. And I was a part of a start Isagenix community for 2.5 years before I said yes. But it was because I had somewhere to plug in a positive community. Eventually, I was just like, I want to do this. And I highly encourage you to invite all your friends to go on your Sunday fun day hike or brunch, right? Including your Isagenix customers, your business builders, and just friends in general, because the whole idea here is to build relationships. And if you're building relationships, not only is that going to increase retention, but it's also fun and it's going to grow your business. So we're really huge on events, Sunday fun days, hangouts. It could be bowling. It could be going to the movies, just hanging out with girlfriends. As millennials, so oftentimes, most than not, people are craving friendships, but their 9-to-5 job holds them from that. Their work-life balance is skewed. People are on BFF Bumble. I've made so many friends on BFF Bumble. Let me tell you, that is a new thing I discovered. Right? People want to make friends. So what if we are the people to ignite a way for them to plug into something? So I think retention really comes through relationships. So checking in with your people, important. Loving on them, important. The calls, important. But also I invite everybody on here to step into leadership, get creative, and start creating a little get together, just like the yoga beach session and stuff like that. People love it. So that's like a huge thing for me in retention.
I'll go ahead and kind of say my piece, and then I'll let Ken kind of close out the call. But for me, I think the biggest thing with my business for increasing retention and also increasing leverage is understanding that you don't have to be the middleman to everything. And it's so powerful to connect a new cleanser on your team to somebody who might be cleansing for 2 months. And it's powerful for 2 reasons. One, you just leverage your team, and you can't coach possibly everybody through this. And if you are a control freak, I know that might freak you out that I just told you to hand off your personally enrolled person to somebody who is only 2 months in. But first of all, that person is going to relate to that person so much more only being 2 months in. Second of all, you are going to empower this person who's only 2 months into using the products to believe that they can share and coach somebody else. And this might not be somebody who thinks that they want to share this business. And this is one of my tricks that I use to get people to now want to share, and because it gets addicting to help other people with these products. So if they're not yet helping other people in their own network, I have them help people in my network. So for instance, if I have 2 cleansers that are both cleansing on the same day and I know I'm not cleansing, I'll just throw them into a group chat and a group text message. I said, hey, this is so-and-so, meet so-and-so. You're both cleansing today, help a sister out throughout the throughout the day. And then they start to create community. And then if I have somebody who's struggling, if I know that there's somebody with a big weight loss, and I've seen someone who's 2 months into their weight loss or 3 months into their weight loss that was a bigger weight loss, I'll connect them. And allowing your leadership in your team to start to rise up, not only is that building retention, but it's also building I don't want to say authority, but it's building belief in themselves. That's the key. And we all know that you have to have belief in the product, you have to believe in the company, you have to have belief in the compensation plan and all of the such. But the biggest missing piece is belief in self. And sometimes they need that belief in self before they'll start doing things outside of the safe haven that's our own community. It's also going to increase retention, because when you are working together and you have buddies in crime, you need more product, because somebody who might have fallen off the reins on their 3rd month but was helping somebody that was just on their 1st month is going to be ordering for their next month because they want to do it with the person. So it's kind of, again, if you've heard me talk about the business, this is all about you becoming the most least valuable person. So don't get in the habit of feeling like you need to become this super valuable person in order for your customers to have an incredible experience and to have incredible retention. Don't become a small base business owner in the idea that your customer service, you live, breathe, and die by it. It is important for us to have amazing customer service, but it's also extremely important to leverage the team and to show people how we really truly are a team, and that it is about our shared experiences, and also knowing that you cannot spend 15 hours a week coaching people through cleanses, and you need to use tools, and sometimes your tools are your team. So that's kind of my tidbit, and then I'm going to pass it off to Kenz to talk about how she incorporates these products into daily life, because the last thing that we really need to talk about is, if someone's just here for transformation, how do we use the products? How do we get them to understand the products as a lifestyle?
So good. I have been taking a lot of notes. I hope you guys are taking a lot of notes. So much value. And I think, whenever I'm at an event or I'm at a training, when there's a few words that are sticking out, I hope you just continue to focus on those and write those down. And that's building relationships for sure. Bottom line, you guys, retention in your business comes down to how well you're building community in your pages and with your customers, but getting people paid. I mean, truly, that's the bottom line of retention, because what's going to keep someone in Isagenix is if they can get a $200, $300 auto ship order every single month for free, they have no need to look other places. And if they're getting what they need from our community and from the resources that Isagenix offers. And so Sage did a really good job too, setting people up, knowing that we had the 16-week challenge, healthy mind and body. We've got so many different tools like the IsaLife app. For me as a new product user, I was enrolled by someone that had a background in holistic nutrition. So she cleanse coach really intense. It was only 2-day cleanses. It was only, do this and this and this. And that was not the lifestyle I came into Isagenix. So I really had to really have grace with myself and understand that I had to really find my connection to Isagenix. And she did such a good job of showing me the Start Your Life community and kind of the bigger vision. And so what are the resources that you're sharing with people when you get them started? And my team is going to laugh if you're on here, if we work together, because I love showing people the Peta Kelly $1 million story. I love to show people Isagenix, because this is where when people fall in love with Jim and Kathy Coover and Isagenix, the Isagenix story, the millennial fire force behind Start, they're not going to want to go to Arbonne. I'm just going to say it. They're not going to want to go to, a skincare company where you're not having those relationship-based product experiences and physical transformations inside. And I say that graciously. Like, my mom was with Rodan and Fields. They have a lot of girlfriends in other companies. But what's so cool is that when I show people really the community of Isagenix and, you know, the purity in our products, but then all the tools we have to truly give people a successful experience, that's what sets Isagenix apart. I mean, to be able to bring in a customer and say, you have a free, you know, mindset coach program that we're going to set you up with. We have a 16-week transformation challenge. And we have all these different things that we can
Kenzie, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I thought I muted you. I really want to challenge you guys to think more as business owners and be empowered to take charge of your business. Because how often do you sit on the sidelines, and I'm just going to call people out right now, in your business? And I did this. Think of me as a nervous 22-year-old watching some gorgeous professional who enrolled me, right? She's so beautiful and fabulous and perfectly spoken on camera, you know, could tell you anything about gut bacteria and cleanse days and all the ingredients. And I really just had to step up what all these women are saying and figure out what I was aligned with Isagenix and what was going to attract people to my journey and help them break through in their journey. So like when I got enrolled, she met me in a spray tanning appointment and then moved to Northern California. I was in Southern California. And so my only understanding of building this business was building my own tribe, right? I didn't ever have an upline near me or a team to build into. So it's creating those fun events. Like they said, I just want to reiterate the really important things. But then also really showcasing Isagenix every day. Like when I go back to my social media, and I've said this before, social media did not build my business. I had 800 followers, but I showed like working in my salon and my ugly shake cup that I laugh about that no one wants to see, but I did all those things. My e-shot on the road when I'm road tripping with my husband, you know, my Ionics in my coffee mug, talk about all the things that I was struggling with and all the solutions I had with Isagenix. So just dripping that consistently. And then, you know, think of yourself. I remember just really, because I came from a brick and mortar business, like how can I provide the best experience for my customers that sets Isagenix aside, right? So I have in my calendar, just on Mondays, I write one card a week to a customer that I appreciate so much. And how many times have you guys gone shopping somewhere? Or, I mean, I'll never forget an experience that I had with, this is a terrible example. It's a pet supply company. Anyways, they saw that I rescued a dog and they sent me like a gift for Abby and they sent me a handwritten note. And I was like, they will literally have my business for as long as I have animals, because that was so thoughtful. So doing little things for your customers and appreciation, you know, doing a giveaway in your product page. We're getting back to this starting this week, is we're just doing giveaways for our customers and showcasing kind of like a product of the month and just grabbing stuff from ISA FYI. Maybe it's the greens or e-shots. And just having your people kind of share and make sure and message to your customers, ask if they've ever ordered this, if they know about it, and then do a giveaway. You know, tag your customers in our post about our new organic greens, and we're going to give one person, we're going to raffle it away, right? Engaging people in your group. And then too, especially what Chelsea's saying about having people step up is, you know, so often I see these beautiful, powerful women in my business and they're not active in the Facebook groups, right? They're not adding value. They're not sharing their story. And I think about, and I'm the admin of the groups, right? I'm seeing all these beautiful women they're adding in, and they don't understand the power of them, you know, sharing an update of their week or maybe a non-scale victory from their month. You know, you have people sitting in there that didn't join to hear my story again and again. They didn't hear to see, you know, or listen to Cameron's story over and over again. They have been watching you. So think about all your prospects you have and what other business opportunity. Do you have a Facebook group with all of your prospects sitting in there, or old customers that are going to get that notification, are going to see? So it's so powerful. Go live in your Facebook groups, you know, during the week and share a product win, share your favorite recipe. I mean, going back to kind of the basics, and I've shared this before, that just going back to what was I doing, you know, 2 years ago, it was really just leveraging the Facebook groups and then building community in person. So small things that you can be doing just to set your business apart, set your, you know, customers' experience apart, really engaging your Facebook groups, starting a local 16-week challenge. Tomorrow morning, I encourage you guys, and I'm going to do this on Instagram tonight just to push for last free shipping, but just see if anyone locally wants to do a 16-week healthy mind and body challenge. When they message you, send them a voice memo, tell them, about Isagenix and offer the free shipping to them. But I know I've seen a lot of Australians do this. I think it's so cool. But find a group of girls, and then if you have ClassPass, we have something called Studio Hop. I'm now in an apartment building, and Lindsay and I are going to get a group of girls to come meet up like once or twice a week and just do the BBG workouts together. And then, like Cam's saying, go do fun stuff together and have your fun accountability group where you're just focusing, you know what, we really don't want to drink this Friday night because we're trying to stick to some goals. So let's all grab a group of girls and go watch a movie. Or let's go for a walk and meet at the dog park, do different things, post about it, and show people on social media that you're building this healthy tribe. And then I just remember, I think it was Georgie Thomas that posted about this, but she did, this is probably a year and a half ago, but she is in Australia. She's in the Start group, and she did this. I think it's so beautiful. And at the end of the 16 weeks, all the girls got so dressed up. They looked fabulous. They went out for some cocktails and dinner, and they took this fire photo, but they talked about what they learned through the 16 weeks. They did this cool caption saying, combine, this group of women lost X amount of weight, but more importantly, they kind of listed out the things that they felt empowered through and they got strong through the 16 weeks together. And I just remember reading through those comments. I'm like, how powerful is that to see a group of women doing that? That's something you can do. Thinking outside the box. Also, building your local community and doing customer appreciation nights. I shared this, that I learned this about in Peru. This is not my idea. But it was a leader named Samantha. And so she's built a local community. She's a mom and a military spouse. And she does customer appreciation nights where she just reaches out to her local community and she'll contact a bar, or she did a running shop and they did discounts for, they didn't sell Lululemon, but some activewear brand. And she does fun events in her local community, and she gets moms and young women and, couples together where they go out for, they do a wine bar locally, but the wine bar gives them 20% off or half glasses of wine. So she's getting people together, but that's her way of giving back to her team, if you will, or her customers. And that's not coming out of her pocket. It's actually the business is offering discounts. I think, and it sounds silly, but I really learned this well from, and I hope you hear from me, is that I've learned so much just listening to other people and watching on social media and listening to other trainings. But Trudy Maples and Tanya Kirkpatrick are very serious about helping people blend up their first shake. And I remember hearing this, I'm like, gosh, do people really have that problem? And I have had people say that they're not feeling, satisfied on their shakes, and I walk through their day and they're only doing one scoop, or, they're adding in, I don't know. It's been funny. So making sure that you help people find their go-to. And I explain this, it's kind of like when you go to a restaurant and you find that one meal that you're obsessed with, and you have all these great places to try. And I've done this living in so many cities. And I know that one meal I can get. Lindsay already introduced me to my favorite meal in Dallas, and we go there all the time because it's so good, right? But think about that with Isagenix. Like, I know for me, I did not like Ionix in the beginning. And you could tell me the benefits of Ionix a million times. I was that person in the beginning. I was brand new to my health journey, that I wasn't in the mindset to overcome what made me feel a little gaggy in the beginning. And then I saw someone post in a Facebook group, right? So think about your customer that's sitting there that sees this valuable post. Someone said they put warm water and lemon. And I was like, okay, well, that sounds better than what I'm doing right now. That changed my life. I have 1 to 2 cups of Ionix a day. Just, my retention in my business, because I'm obsessed with Ionix in that recipe now, trickled through our downline. Like I know that I can look at my team. We're obsessed with the greens. Like, our team has these products that we drive so hard on our team, which is the Ionix, the greens, different things. So making sure, and it sounds so basic, you guys, but making sure that you are checking with your customers and saying, what are you liking? What can we adjust? Are there some recipes I can share with you? And I know that sounds silly, but truly, there's some things that I've gone back and readjusted. And when I find my recipe, it tastes so much better. Lindsay hosted an amazing sip and sample last week, and we're chatting with the customer, and we asked the same things. We're in person, right? And she's like, well, the one thing I'm having a hard time with is Ionix. And she's a school teacher, and her stress levels are very high right now in the beginning of the school year. And her energy levels are low. So guess what we did? We went to Lindsay's cabinet. We got out some Ionix. We got some hot water. We squeezed in some lemon, and we had her try it, and she was obsessed. So just that in-person connection, but if you're not, then dripping in the Facebook groups. It sounds so basic, you guys, but what Chelsea was saying about, think about if you guys are all in the same boat, right? And you're racing in a boat race, and you've got a bunch of people with different paddles, and y'all are going in different directions. Paddles are going everywhere. You're just spinning in circles, right? But think about the power of, I'm not even thinking of that sport, but 10 people in a boat rowing in the same direction at the same time. The power and the speed and the direction of that, right? I always had that visual, and I think of my Isagenix team, really getting people to share their stories. I know even just sharing the lifestyle of it, like we have Alex on the line, and she was camping all weekend, but she did such a good job of showing her shakes in the back of their camping truck and with their dogs, with their husband, and showing her products. And it was so cool. And then seeing those being posted in our product page and getting people excited about, and there's comments where we posted pictures like that before, and people are like, oh, I didn't know you could travel with this. Like, you just don't realize what people are struggling with, I think, sometimes. So making sure that you're just being really good about pouring value into the groups and then building that in person is just so vital. The last thing I wanted to say, is if you have a customer, welcoming in a customer, add them on Facebook and shoot them a message. And I learned this from Emily Vavra, right? And making sure that like you are driving your line, and Chelsea's going to do a really good call about this, but I have people on this line that are in my 2, 3, 4 PET that are going to be 6-figure earners in a year or two. And I did not personally enroll them, but I saw that they were, ordering every single month, and I comb down my tree all the time. And I say, okay, who keeps ordering? Who is this person? Why am I not connected with them? I add them on Facebook. I said, you don't ever go above anyone. I have a really big integrity issue with leaders stepping over leaders. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying you have all these cute, fabulous customers, and you see that they enroll one friend or they add someone into the page. Add them on Facebook and introduce yourself and just tell, your 30-second story really quickly. But make sure that you have a pulse on your business, right? It's the same thing when you see your ISA Pulse, and you see that someone switches over to associate. I saw a name switch over to associate. I didn't recognize that person. And so I sent them a voice memo. And she happened to be a military spouse that also lived in Florida. So we connected, and she's in like my 6 PET. And she was like, I ordered Isagenix once. I saw some girl on Facebook making money with it, and I realized I had an account too. Oh my God. So she went and she opened up her own back office, switched over to associate. And thank God truly, I say, ISA Pulse is the pulse of your business. But take, 10 minutes. If you're just new to your business, maybe 10 minutes a day, but making sure that you have a pulse. And I just feel so grateful for this app that I scroll through. And you can click right now. I have a girl named Hannah that switched over to associate. I'm just going to click on her name, and you can actually text someone, and I just send them a voice memo. I say, hey, Hannah, introduce yourself, tell them where you are in the business, or, in association to who they are, and just say you're so excited, how long you've been doing the business. Here's a resource. But I can't tell you how many women I've connected with. I've had someone in my business who was just at Nashville who grows a pretty big business. They accidentally switched over to associate. So you think of all, having a pulse in your business so important, and driving the line and going through your back office. Monday mornings, I have time set aside every Monday, and I click through my team if we know how to do that. And if we don't, we can post a video in the group later. But I just see who's ordering. And I also look at banked volume, and I send text messages on Mondays to people and tell them that they have banked volume and how much money they could potentially cash out. Because I think that's a pretty cool text to get on a Monday. So just different things, you guys, that you can go back. And then last thing, just gonna end with this, never be afraid to reach out to people. I know all of us can speak on the line to this, is that things change and lifestyles change and people lose their jobs, or people, for us, it was going through, stage 4 cancer with JJ's dad. There's so much happening that social media is never going to tell you. Don't ever be afraid to be proud of your business and give great customer service and reach out. You guys, I was so afraid to follow up with customers. When I saw that someone stopped ordering or returned a box, like, I got sick to my stomach. I don't know what it was about me. I'm a sensitive Sally. But I lost a lot of people in my organization because I was funny about something that would have really blessed someone. And so now I just get comfortable. Monday mornings are just my big days to make moves, send my appreciation letter to a customer, look through my downline, message some people, but also just look back through. We still have salted caramel. Put 10 minutes on your calendar tomorrow. And I like to send voice memos, but I realize that sometimes when people are like, oh my gosh, it's Mackenzie, and she is probably going to say something about Isagenix, I don't do voice memos. I actually now like to put a text so they can read it, so they know what I'm saying. So like, oh, I don't want to read it, So now I text physically, send a text. But just making sure that they saw something, or, just reaching back out. And I have a message I'll post in the group later tonight, but just checking back in and just saying, I hope you had an amazing summer. Look at their social media, you guys, be sincere. I'm not ever about sending weird messages, and just say, that trip with your family looked amazing. I saw you guys went hiking. That's so awesome. That's on my bucket list. Like, really connect with people, because I'm really big on connecting. But just say, I always want to extend an open invitation to jump back into Isagenix. If there's an area in your wellness that you're struggling with, maybe it's just energy. I know a lot of people, guys, start on 30-day systems and they don't have great success on a 30-day system, or it feels too hard for them because they couldn't stick with something. A lot of people have that weird mentality, like they don't do it perfectly, they don't do it right, it doesn't work, right? And so just offering some solutions to them. I mean, I have a girl that just reordered because we were posting about our fall challenge, and she's like in my 4 PET, and she went to my college. I didn't know her, but she really opened up to me about some really, really, really sad health challenges. But it's cool because I could relate to some stuff that she's going through. And we have some women on our team going through the same thing with hormone health. And I got to introduce her to some beautiful women this weekend. And she sent me a text and she said, "You don't even understand what an answer to my prayer this is. I have felt so lost in doctor's offices. Like Isagenix has already been such a blessing." So going back to that community and connecting people's stories and really empowering your people to share their stories in the group. Because I know I have plenty of customers that aren't going to relate to my story, but they've seen bridal transformations or athlete transformation or Lindsay's running story, and that helps the retention of my business so much. So just really loving on your team, empowering them to share, but keeping a pulse on that business and just sending those messages. I just really can't tell you how much business I've lost. I'm being so honest with you guys. Because I didn't send up those follow-up messages, or I made decisions for people because it's like, well, she's ignored me the last 3 times. And then the person that's ignored me those 3 times, it happened today actually, and that's that they've joined some other network marketing company, right? So just know that you always have the choice to be empowered and send that message. It's only ever coming from a good place, right? It's coming from a place of service. But it's been a good, fun, long summer. People are ready for change, the new season. You have so much to offer. There's so many new products, and that's how I always like to kind of start messages and just say, there's been so many updates, and I know notifications can get a lot on Facebook. I mean, I sent a message just like that to any mom on my team, 2, 3, 4 PET that I had somewhat of a relationship with or was connected with on Facebook, just about the shakes. And I can't tell you how many customers I reactivated because they had no idea because they unsubscribed from email. So just taking time, and it's kind of like in the beginning when you're building their business, and I'll end at this because Chelsea talked about this, is like those zeros used to make me sick to my stomach, like when I used to check my bank account, right? Don't let that scare you. And I was just talking to one of my builders about this, and she's like, "I feel so defeated." I said, "Don't." I said, my dad used to work for a network marketing company when I was a baby, so I didn't know anything about it. But I was asking him about retention because I said that was what we were talking about tonight. And he said the company he used to work for ran, huge analytics on retention. And number 1 was getting your people paid, which is a no-brainer, duh. And then number 2 was it's 100 times easier to reactivate an old customer than it is to re-enroll. So look at the effort that you're putting in, these social media posts and doing all these things and hoping to get new customers. But a lot of times when I sit down with the builder and we evaluate where they're struggling, and retention is just something that we all need to always work on, and it's just always going to be an ongoing beast in our business, is I say, okay, let's reallocate some of that time to just building relationships, loving on people, serving people, and reactivating old customers. And so knowing that statistic should excite you. And I always say, like, even if the person's at 0, I look at my Isagenix back office as my bank account, and I say, wow, that's so amazing that person's sitting there and I can reserve them again. But also, you guys, thinking about driving your line with retention, the importance of getting people paid is like, if every customer you brought in, they grabbed 2, and we kind of know the numbers of how many people share, how long people stay on the product, you get that person paid right away. But I look at all the women in my business that are building my team and my 6-figure income, and women on my team that have earned 6 figures. I look at the powerhouses that I have in my 2, 3, 4 PET. And I'll never forget on a podcast, someone sharing on an Eric Roy podcast saying that typically your personally enrolled people are going to bring in the greatest leaders in your life. So I remember hearing that, and I look at my own organization and how much income I earn with Isagenix, and it's really, my 2, 3, 4 PET people driving my business, and a few very, very, very strong people personally enrolled, but they're strong teams, is that should excite you to, reach back out and just say, hey, do you have a friend you want to enroll? And the flip side too, like we posted about our fall challenge, and a girl reached out to me, and her enrolling sponsor is not active. So I said, oh my gosh. So I messaged her right away. I said, hey, your girlfriend Allison just reached out. I'm so excited. She's reordering a 30-day system. She's jumping in with her fall challenge. She was so excited when she got started with you last year. Do you have any interest in jumping back in with us? And Allison was like, I would have never sent that text message, but I had no problem sending it to her. So then her girlfriend, who I personally enrolled, got back in, and they're so excited to do it together. So just thinking about the ways that you can drive your income, your business, your retention, just goes back to basics, you guys. Building those relationships, really leveraging that and adding value into your groups, but then driving your line with getting people paid and helping them share. And I'm done.
That was an awesome call. I know everyone is going to be itching for this recording, and it is now 9:51, so we'll let everyone go. Have a great night, guys.